And welcome to Mile High Reefers. I'm Scott Anderson, and I look like absolute crap today. The reason is I'm getting ready to dive into the tanks and start changing the sumps around to make room for some of the changes that have to happen upstairs. So it's going to be a huge amount of dirty work, so I'm not going to bother looking good for this video. So let's go take a look at the tanks and I'll give you an idea of what I'm doing. It's completely embarrassing, but because of neglect and other stupid reasons, this tank is full of pests like Aptasia and encrusting gorgonian. If you're not familiar with encrusting gorgonian, it is like GSP in that it stings everything and kills everything, but it's ugly and grows all over everything, and it isn't as easy to remove as GSP. So that stuff's just going. It's probably gonna end up in the trash, believe it or not. I know. Don't hate me, but that's kind of what you have to do with that stuff. So, to get rid of all this Aptasia, there's a few ways to do it. We can take the tank off completely and rinse it with fresh water. That'll get rid of all of it quick. But because of the way it's built, it would be quite a pain to do that, and then I could end up with leaking issues and stuff. So I'm not gonna go that route. What we're gonna do is we're gonna move all of the coral to the top tank, and we are gonna turn this tank dark. This top tank had pretty much the same problem, and you can see all the Aptasia still on this rock. But I've ran this thing dark for about a month now, and I've gotten rid of most of the Aptasia. There's still a little bit in here. But what we're gonna do is we're gonna do a water change, because this stuff hasn't been under light for like a month, and this last little bit is gonna come off in the water change. And what doesn't, the little filefish is gonna get, guaranteed. And those rocks, those will go to the lower tank, where they're gonna spend some more time in darkness. But this will be a pretty good refresh. It's not gonna be perfect, but that filefish should do the job. So to kick the project off, we're going to drain this 30-gallon tank down to this sump, filling it almost to the brim with water. I realize it's a backwards way to do a water change, but by having that full of water, I'm gonna be able to suck the water out of this tank without a problem, and we're gonna be able to suck out the rest of the Aptasia and the debris that's in this tank. For the water change, I'm gonna siphon water out of the top tank. It's gonna run down the hose all the way over to the floor drain. I've got a bucket to hold the hose in place, and it's that easy. I don't have to carry any buckets at all. My water dumps in gravity through the 30-gallon holding tank, and then to suck it out, it goes down the hole to the drain. Water changes are incredibly easy with my setup. Trying to film this water change solo is gonna be almost impossible, but I'll show you a couple little tricks I do. First, to start the siphon, because I have water up here, all I gotta do is push the hose up to it, put my hand around it, and it'll start sucking. Now I can start sucking, and since this Aptasia has been underwater for so long, or under no light for so long, a lot of it will just suck right off of here. Oops, I lost my siphon, and we restart it. No big deal. But usually, Aptasia won't just suck out of here. But after no light for a while, I would say 30–40% of this stuff actually just sucks right off of here. There goes one, and another. And sorry, the camera work is just absolute crap. I'm trying to do a water change and run a camera. I've got this tank as clean as I am gonna get it. And it looks pretty good. All the detritus is out. There's a few pieces of Aptasia, but it won't be much for that filefish. Now, the rocks have quite a bit of Aptasia. They're gonna go down below into the dark. I'd really like to keep them as live rock. We'll see how doable that is. But I think we're in a good starting point. All right, here's the fun part. I gotta start taking coral from the frag tank to the top frag tank. Now, the idea is lights are going off down here, so I gotta get everything I want out of here, put it up here, or it will die. So, let's have some fun. Big singular frag? That'll be good. Giant Aptasia rock? That needs to die. Big green money? That's good. Big sinulera, that's good. Now I've got this toadstool, which I need to do something with because we got yellow polyps all over it. And I hate yellow polyps, so we probably need to cut that rock. But not right now. Basket of zinnia and random crap. Yeah, not great, but we'll hold on to it. Here's some toadstools and zinnia and just random stuff in here that needs to go away. Okay, so here's a big Darasa clam. Let's see if we can get this out without exposing it to too much air. So just to give you an idea how big that clam is, he is a big boy. And this is nothing compared to the one upstairs. One thing I need to do is get real frag racks for all this, but that'll be in the future. Right now, we're just trying to kill Aptasia. That is gonna die. More Monties. You guys have no idea how many Monties I just throw down here. Probably half of them have been killed, the Aptasia. It's been crazy. But one of these days, I will get real frag racks and make this thing a viable frag tank. This piece here used to be an amazing piece, and look at it now. That Aptasia, ugh. This guy's really cool. I have nothing to do with him, but he is a toadstool leather from my 29-gallon tank. I can't get rid of him, but what are you gonna do with it? Big piece of live rock with a nice sinulera on there. Still, I got nothing to do with it. This is the hardest piece to deal with. This is my GSP with a bunch of encrusting gorgonian. So I want the GSP, but I don't want the encrusting gorgonian. We're gonna have to pull all of the GSP off and leave the gorgonia. So the encrusting gorgonia grows over everything. This stuff is bad, really bad. It's going in the trash. One thing you guys might not know, and it's really sad, is in my tank, this sponge grows like crazy, but I'm gonna lose it on this rock. It really shouldn't be exposed to air. There's no way to do this without exposing it to air. Plus, I'm gonna kill this rock because, well, GSP. Or sorry, encrusting gorgonian. So I kind of got what I could of the GSP off. Unfortunately, there's still some on there, but I've got plenty of it. Some of you are gonna hate me for doing it, but that stuff's gotta die to get rid of the encrusting gorgonian. That stuff is that bad. Here's my long spine urchin. This guy is a pain in my frag tanks. He can't go upstairs because he eats the good gorgonians. So what do we do with him? Frag tank! Or sorry. So what do we do with him? He's going in the sump. If he doesn't sting me first. Alright, so the most important thing that's still in this tank that we haven't got out is the filefish. So let's get that guy. That wasn't bad. Aptasia eating filefish. This guy's gotten about twice as big as he was when I bought him a few months ago. So he is chowing down on Aptasia. Now one of the problems I have is with my drain system. So I've got to cover the drain so the filefish doesn't go down the drain. It isn't pretty, but I've got all the encrusting gorgonian out of here. I feel bad that I had to throw that stuff away, and feel free to give me crap about it, but once you've dealt with it, you'll just understand it. It has to go. It's like ugly GSP that's stronger than GSP. It's amazing how tough that stuff is. And it will cover anything and won't come off. I highly recommend not keeping it. So that's all done. I've moved most of my snail population up top, not all of it. The idea is, once the lights are on again, which they are, I'm guessing with all the death that's happened up here, there's going to be some localized nutrients and I can expect some algae growth. So snails are up here. There's not a lot left for the filefish to eat, so I should see some pretty big gains pretty quickly now. And then the last thing I've got to do to complete this upgrade is shut the lights off. There we go. It's dark. It's not going to get much photosynthesis out of that. And that's what's going to kill everything else in that tank. I'm not in a hurry. I really don't care if this takes months to kill everything. But the goal is, let the filefish kill all the Aiptasia up here, which it will in short order. Then I can reorganize this tank into something useful. Definitely going to have to do something about that, but for the time being, I like Xenia. It's something that I can probably propagate. There's a bunch of other just little stuff in there I need to save. And then I need to get some real frag racks going in here. So one of these days, I can actually be productive with all this excess coral. You guys keep asking for it, but to be honest, with that much Aiptasia, I really felt bad giving it away. So this is a totally different way of dealing with the problem like this, but it's gonna allow me to make the changes upstairs, which will be next week's episode. So thank you for watching this episode of Mile High Reefers. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.